Alright, welcome back to the episode of the Nighttime series. Today we have a pretty fun video because I'm going to be continuing the top 3 underrated characters for certain classes. And today we're going to do the Mystic class because I feel like this class, recently my eyes have been really open to some characters. So I really just want to talk about them for a little bit. And I also want to talk about what happened in the last war because it was such an awesome moment and it was such a fun time. So I just want to go through it again, just explain what happened and explain why I'm super happy about it. So yeah, it should be a pretty chill episode today, and let's get right into it. Keep in mind, this is my favorite underrated characters because I feel like there's a lot of underrated mystics, but there are 3 that I just really like in particular. So America Chavez, I do think she's pretty underrated, but I have not played with her too much yet, so I can't put her on this list because she's not one of my favorites. Though I've seen the gameplay and she does look pretty awesome to play with. But yeah, I just had to mention that. So she's an honorable mention, but now let's talk about someone who's actually on the list. If you play Battlegrounds, you know just how good Mordo is. He is absurd, man. He is so absurd. The damage output just ramps up so fast, and if there are buffs, the Soul Barb is just insane. It is absolutely insane. He becomes one of the fastest damage dealers in all of Battlegrounds if there are buffs to take advantage of. So yeah, in Battlegrounds, a very solid attacker, but not only that, he's a very good dual threat too because his defense capabilities are still very good, the Astral Evade, Axis Mixed Dispersion, and also just having that very annoying power gain that he can just be very passive in. So there's still a lot going on for him on defense. Of course Torch can just melt him, but also if you ban Torch or if Torch isn't picked, then they can start to get pretty annoying with Mordo. So yeah, just overall I feel he's a good dual threat, and he's just a monster attacker, especially when there's buffs to take advantage of. It is just very good stuff. I haven't seen him used in Alliance War or just anywhere else, to be honest. I feel he just stays in Battlegrounds, but still that makes him a super valuable character in my opinion because Battlegrounds is a very important piece of content. So yeah, overall I think Mordo is pretty great, and if you like Battlegrounds, so you should definitely rank him up. Now, speaking of Battlegrounds, I feel this character doesn't get his credit that he deserves because he's honestly a monstrous defender, but not only that, he is a pretty decent attacker as well, and I feel he is just an overall pretty underrated champion, and it's Sasquatch. Sasquatch is just one of my personal favorites, man. I feel he is super useful. His tankiness is through the roof. You will always survive with this character because of his massive health pool. He has up to a 50% damage reduction as well. It is just an insane amount of tankiness that this guy has. He also has access to regen too, which is just amazing. And not only that, but in Battlegrounds, if you get the SP2 crit, it is just a very good time and a very fast time as well. So yeah, overall I feel Sasquatch is a pretty good dual threat in Battlegrounds, but not only that, he's just a very fun general quester. He also has access a lot of good synergies for other champions Sabretooth and all that. He does offer a lot of utility as well, his stagger on heavy attack. I know it's not Doom levels, but it's still a pretty decent stagger. He also has access to a pretty good armor break immunity, and like I said, man, the tankiness is just the character. I feel the tankiness is so good. It is so potent. It is a massive benefit to the character, and his health pool is just so fun. I feel so safe with this champion because I just know that I'm playing with a massive health character. That's just me though. I feel my favorite type of characters are the big ones because they have a ton of health and they're more safe to play, and that's the case with Sasquatch. So that's why I feel he's a bit underrated because he's just a super safe character. Additionally, I just how ruptures are still a pretty rare debuff. Not many people are immune to it, so he's still a very hard to counter champion on offense because almost no one is immune to rupture. So he can be used in a lot more fights than you think. So that's just one thing to think about as well. But yeah, overall I feel Sasquatch is a versatile character, a very solid dual threat, and just a monstrous defender, right? Because on defense he has his regen, he has the damage reduction, the high health pool. Of course Torch gets him down, right? But it takes Torch longer to get down Sasquatch than usual mystics. So Sasquatch always has an advantage, I feel so if you don't have him in your deck yet, maybe consider it. I feel he's a very good dual threat, and he won't just be on defense for you, he can be used on offense too. So yeah, overall Sasquatch pretty nice. Of course he is kind of just a Battlegrounds only character because I don't really see him using Alliance War, though I bet it'd be pretty fun to use him in Alliance War because you're just fully boosted and you'll have a ton of health. But yeah, I really like Sasquatch. I think he's pretty fun. I think he's just a very solid champion, and he does have a use in the game, so that's already a big plus. And now let's move on to the last character who inspired this video in the first place. You can't have an underrated Mystic video and not put Sorcerer Supreme. Oh my gosh, I was sleeping on this character for way too long. She is a monster, like an absolute monster. I know that she's getting helped right now by the like attack tactic and alliance war, but even outside of that, she is still just a very solid champion, right? Her utility is amazing. Like she has access to a very solid nullify aura. She has access to slow as well and armor break. She's just a very like versatile character when it comes to like utility. Her damage output is pretty good overall, I feel like, especially with like a power boost, it just goes haywire. Like there's a lot to love about this character, and like in Alliance War, man, it is just like her Alliance War is just like her playground, I feel like, because she is just so good in Alliance War right now. She is, in my opinion, one of the best attackers to have. Like her only weakness is that like her fight time isn't the best. So like if you are in a very close war, maybe not the best to use Sorcerer Supreme, but like in a very comfortable war, she is just a very safe character to use because her like control is just insane. Her power control is very good as well because of the power steal like rune. There is just so much like about this character. The region on block is perfect too. Like I can just go on and on, man, because there's so much utility with this character. She is just an amazing champion overall. I feel like she's so versatile to the point where she can just be used everywhere, right? Like in act content, she has a lot of utility to back her up. In Alliance War, she is just like putting on a clinic, man. She is so good in Alliance War right now. And I feel like in Battleground, she does have pretty good damage output to like be worthy of it. Like she is just a very solid champion. I feel like she did have a bit of a downfall, but like right now she is very, very popular, and I hope that she just remains like popular, that she like takes advantage of this like, you know, this like uprising, right? So I hope that she still remains a very solid character, and I think that she will, because like her utility is still super good, like even in 2023, and she is just like a very fun character to play too. But like with Mystic Dispersion at 5 out of 5, she just goes crazy, man. Like if there are buffs, she just goes absolutely crazy. And she is just a very solid champion overall, I feel like. Even in like general matchups, like non-cosmic matchups, she's still a very good champion, and she's like super capable still. So yeah, Sorcerer Supreme, I just love, man. She's so much fun to play. Easily my favorite Mystic right now. Maybe like next long shot. But yeah, now let's talk about what happened in my last Alliance War. So if you haven't seen the video that I posted today, we did the first ever like 0-0 war, I think, because GT40 had 150 kills, 0 deaths, and we had 150 kills and 0 deaths too. So that's 300 kills across the board and 0 deaths. Absolute insanity, man. Just like absolute insanity. I am just so proud of like everyone in the war, right? Because I have a lot of friends in GT40. They're like great people for the most part. Of course, they do a little bit of trolling, but besides that, they have good personalities. Very like proud of everyone in this war because like we all put in our best effort. Of course, Salty lost the fight time, which is, you know what, it's hard to be sad about it when we put in so much work and we did so well to like the best alliance in the world. Like GT40 is the best alliance in the world, and we still put up a pretty good fight. We put up like the best fight ever against them, to be honest, because like no one has ever done a full donut against GT40 until now, because we were the first ones to do it. So like just super proud of everyone in Salty, man. Like we did so good. My personal like participation in it wasn't like the biggest. I did have a boss fight, which is like pretty cool. Like still, like I had a boss fight in like the best alliance war ever. That is really awesome to say, and I got the solo too. So you know what, it's all good, man. I'm like really happy about that. Sorcerer Supreme, man, she's just carrying me so far this season, and I am like all in. I'm all for it, man. I love Sorcerer Supreme. I will just let her do the work, and I'll just be there like pretending that I'm actually good at the game, right? But I'm not good at the game. It's just Sorcerer Supreme is too good, man. But yeah, just I'm really happy about like how Alliance War is going so far. Of course, I still love Mole Man. He's still my favorite attacker, like besides Sorcerer right now. Mole Man's still one of my favorite characters, like in general though. So like I just love everyone that I'm using for attack right now, and I hope that I can like stay that way. But yeah, just a pretty awesome war, man. Like easily the greatest war in like Alliance War history. And yeah, so yeah, that's about it for this episode. Just want to talk about my favorite Mystic characters that I think are pretty underrated, and just talk about like the epic war that I just had as well. So yeah, just a very fun time. Let me know your thoughts on my 3 underrated Mystic characters and who you would say is like pretty underrated too. And yeah, that's about it for me.